It's almost like Christmas again for these guys. The car, they completely stripped it. Skinned it naked.
Yep. She's gonna come back better though, guaranteed.
Always. A lot easier taking it apart than it is putting it back together.
It's true.
Alright guys, welcome back to Cherezian Racing. I'm finally stabbing this motor in and tranny in for the final time. Hopefully it won't ever have to come out, but we'll see. I had to give it a nice fresh paint job. Painted the bell housing, transmission, red, blue, orange. It's looking good, so just throw it in right now real quick. She's in. All right, back working on the hobby stock. Eric's here. He's gonna go check out why we got a flat tire in the trailer. And last you guys saw is when I threw the motor in. And so basically ever since then, I have been working on trying to make the clutch work. It's hard to see, but the clutch lever's down here, and I got a little slave cylinder on it. And I'm having to fabricate a little device here in the firewall. I'm putting a little, well, I'm not gonna say a little, a pretty large chunk of iron through here, and that will be what the other end of the slave cylinder is gonna be pulling on. And I'm gonna really try to reinforce this pretty well, so hopefully it'll be strong enough, we don't know. We'll see. And then Eric made a shifter out of a bunch of scrap. We still gotta kind of finalize that, so that's what we're doing tonight on a Thursday.
Y'all gotta move on, baby. This is for my dirt road soldiers. Where y'all at? I know y'all on them dirt roads.
Cool. Okay, we just tested her out. She's working fine. Basically what I've done here is I sunk a bolt through the clutch fork here, and on the very end of the lever, got the slave cylinder on here, and you can see the little tab that's coming through the floor pan here, and we just tested it out. It's sucking the lever all the way in, and it's not flexing here at all, so it looks like it's pretty solid. Just so you guys know, this is how I did it, and if you guys have a Camaro and are trying to do the same thing, that's all you gotta do. Pretty dang easy. All right, so we just tested it out. It's a stiff clutch, but it's got a lot of clutch feel. So she's ready to go. Feels pretty good. This is the shifter that Eric designed and made himself. We're working on the patent now. Copyright infringement.
Yeah.
But just a bunch of nuts and washers, not washers, but it's a big ass long bolt. And I'm gonna space it out and then figure out a way to weld it in here. And all it said was about, you know, 25 bucks on a shifter assembly that you can probably buy from Speedway. But now,
$35.
is it?
Yeah.
All right, 35 bucks.
$100.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, 100 bucks. Let's say if it's 100 bucks from having to buy one from Speedway and then having to wait a week for it to get here. So hopefully we'll have this kind of close tonight. All right, so it's Saturday and we're back making the rebar speed shifter here. Got one leg already done. Get a little better light there. Anyways, the other side's got to be about a couple inches longer. So Eric found this big old piece of rebar out there in the yard. Gonna cut me off 2 more legs. A little windy out here.
Yeah, just a little bit. You're gonna try to spray this on your block the wind.
The rebar speed shifter.
Now it's definitely not coming off.
What? Oh, it's all good. Rebar speed shifter is cooling down and putting a little rust preventative on it. We'll see it. We'll take off the gloves and show you guys what it looks like before we put it in the car. It's pretty redneck, but it's gonna work. A little visit from the mystery chicken. Barry McCockiner, this one's for you. Alright, got the tape off. It's some oaky ass shit right here, but you know, what else would you guys expect from the Cherezian Racing pit stop here? I introduced you to the Rebar speed shifter.
Saved us $100.
That's right. It's gonna look a lot better in the car, believe me. Alright, so she's where she's gonna be, I think. Feels good to me, but gotta make sure that she can reach it. No spiders.
There's a spider web right there.
You can tell that's an old spider web. There ain't no spiders on there. She's terrified of spiders, just so you guys know.
I hate spiders.
What are you looking for? Look in there. There's nothing besides that one little piece on the back of the seat. Clean as a whistle. Yeah. It's a spider web, not a spider.
I don't care.
Don't hit the fuel cell.
What's a fuel cell?
What's the fuel cell?
I'm keeping this in there.
Okay, go in there.
Here, I'll hand
Alright, survey says that she can shift it fine.
No.
Clutch pedal, she doesn't need a block of wood on it like you used to have.
No.
Go. No tippy toes. It's made for you.
It's made for me.
Yeah, it's made for you.
You
See
two
that
are going to
pop-
be the ones racing
you.
it.
See that clutch pop back? That tells me stall scenario.
Yeah. There's not a lot of feather in that thing, so you just got to drop it, spin the tires.
So you do this and then what
It's
do
a
you
pretty
do?
stiff clutch. I don't know why, but the way that is paid with the slave cylinder and the,
Your left leg is going to be sore towards
you don't
that.
shift it 4 times a race. You just shift it, you
I
know.
don't know.
Once
Getting
you're
on the
in
track.
third, you're gonna stay in third.
Yeah.
There's
Unless
very
there's a lot
few
of caution.
scenarios where we would shift while we're on track.
Right. So she's good. She got the shifter. She got the clutch. Gas pedal is good, right?
Yeah. Do I put it
No,
here?
you don't put it there. You
Right
put it in
here?
there. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Wait,
good.
really? Really?
All right. So while there's still just a little bit of daylight left, going over the trailer and the brakes and the wheel bearings and all that, and naturally I went ahead and dropped the
Bearing in the dirt.
outer bearing in the dirt. So he's cleaning it out. I'm gonna repack it. Just making sure everything's gonna be good to go for when we race. I don't know if I've already said this before or not, but our first race is May 25th. Not in the hobby stock that we're working on, but in the super truck. So got a couple more weeks left. So haven't taken this trailer out before on the road, so just making sure everything's good. They had a little bit of play in the wheel bearings, so I'm tightening them up and repacking them. And the brakes all look good on this side at least. So we're gonna go ahead and check the other side. Should be good. And hopefully this trailer doesn't have any problems down the road.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Riding down a dirt road, sliding through the mud. Simple man on the radio, spitting in my cup. Got a pull off the jack, spinning up the ruts. I'm a dirt road soldier, I got it in my blood. I'm the last of a dime breeding country to the bone. I was raised in them pine trees.
Okay, so the right side of the trailer's done. And we're pulling this tire back off because he's a leaker. You can see he's got a big old gash right here in the outside of the tread, leaking big time. I don't know what happened to this tire, but he must have ran something over. So got to get that one tire replaced. And if you guys want a little extra protein on your burger, just put it over here. About 3 million gnats on the side of the trailer. Okay, now that the shifter's all welded in, we took a measurement on the shift rods, and the Rebar speed shifter is now going to be the Rebar linkage bar too. We're going to put some, basically I cut it in half right there. I've got to lengthen it a little bit, so we're going to put some rebar in between there. So we got a measurement. This one's got to go ahead and get lengthened 6 1/4 inches. And this one when I cut it's going to have to go 7 1/4.
I come from a dirt road, I got it on my own. I'm a dirt road soldier, it's time to move on. Well, it's time to move on, split the wheel.
How long of a sport run you want?
I think we're okay, dude. All right, got the rebar extension in there. It's the correct length. It's pretty straight. Not exactly straight as an arrow, but it's straight enough. All right, so we got the shifter and the linkages all in, and it's a freaking speed shifter, like we said, the Rebar speed shifter, and that's how much travel this got. Not much. That's second. That would be neutral, and then this would be third. So not much on the travel there. That's why we call it the speed shifter. So Eric's putting in a dummy light for the oil pressure. Once we can get a sensor for it and plumb it all in, but that's what that is. And I just poured 7 quarts of braking oil. I use the Lucas 30 weight braking oil. But I just put in 7 quarts, and we don't have a dipstick on this motor because it had originally a right-handed dipstick, so we removed it because we're turning left. And our dipstick is basically our oil temperature sensor that's plumbed in the bottom. You really can't see it very well, but this line right here that goes through this heat shield that I made for the starter hot wire and this gauge wire here goes down there and it plumbs into the bottom of the pan, and that basically is where 7 quarts is. When we pull that sensor out, it's basically flush with that plug, so we know it's a little bit harder to check than a regular old dipstick, but we can't run a right-handed dipstick. There's no way on a circle track car. So she's in there, and I'm gonna add 1 more quart now and then pop the intake on.
I got what it takes, turn dreams into fake. Few racks in the bank, yeah, I got them on my own. And I'm the big buck, got a head full of bones. Hit the dirt road, hell, I'm redneck riding. The cross on the rear view, cooler right beside me. Caught like a beagle pup stuck in the briars. All a man needs is a good set of tires. A good set of price to get your life in the grip. Keep it in the ruts, don't go.
All right, as you guys just saw, plop the intake manifold on. It's all torqued down. And we're currently priming the oil system here. We've got a little temporary gauge here mocked up. You can see the oil pressure. And kind of a redneck way to crank the motor over. Got the battery cable coming out of here, like I said earlier. And then a battery with the jumper cables for the ground, and then that's how you crank it. Radiator time.
Figured I'd start putting it in.
All right, we're burning the midnight oil here. Eric's making some new lower radiator supports down there because we found out that when the motor went in and the new motor mounts we did, the motor sits a little bit lower now. So we're gonna have to lower the radiator as well, so the fan will clear the shroud. We don't have to make a new shroud for it and all that. So that's what he's doing. Like Johnny said before, it's a whole lot easier taking it apart than just putting it back together. So I've been priming this thing for a good, I don't know, half hour or so. So I think we're good to go here. I'll pull this guy out and start dressing up the motor with the distributor and carburetor and all that junk. And then hopefully have the radiator and fan in here pretty soon too, and get it fired up. All right, so while he's finishing that up, I'm gonna close out this video because it's getting kind of long here. So we'll see you guys probably back working on this thing, or maybe even racing in the super truck. I'm not sure what video is gonna come out first, but we got a race next weekend, like I said, the 25th, and maybe 26th too, so we'll see. But until then, remember, you guys, is bent and ain't broken. I'll see you guys next time here on Cherezian Racing.